Hey guys, what's up? Frankie hat! Crypt Keeper laugh paired with a Frankie hat. That's a Smash-like moment. Oh yes, we are back today, and I am still kind of sick, but I'm feeling even more gay. Anyways, thank you for watching my animation reaction series, guys. These episodes always do very well. You all really seem to like it whenever I steal people's content. You are always smashing on that like. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. As always, we're watching some horror animations, and let's just see if we can get this on trending. Hashtag trending, guys. Leave a comment down below to get me on trending. Crypt Keeper laugh. Sorry. Get the Crypt Keeper on trending, all right? These other people. We're back on Wansi Entertainment. Everyone go subscribe to this fellow. He makes excellent videos. The animations are great. Everything is good. The story's got some plot holes, but you know, that's all right. Everyone's got holes and they don't always need to be filled. Man who escaped from prison broke into my house and... What moment? Wait a second. Make sure you leave a caption to be at the end of the next video. Okay, continue.
One day, when I was about 6.
What's that, a Ford Mustang?
My mom had gone to my older sister's recital in Georgia.
It sounds like a girl.
He was a pilot for an airline. So she left
loser.
me and my older brother, who was only 12 at the time, at the sitter's
Love that
house,
haircut,
which was
by the
a few
way.
blocks away from my house.
I haven't heard this guy's voice. I like his
sitter,
voice.
who I'm gonna call Bev, was 19.
Okay.
And she was pretty much the best kind of sitter to a 6 to 7-year-old boy could ask for.
Never had a sitter.
She'd let us play
Best
games
kind?
and stay up
Is that
watching
right?
TV, as long as we didn't bother her while she was on the phone with her boyfriend. We were watching
Chad.
TV, and we could hear something scratching the paneling on the side of the house.
Oh, God.
And
Oh, no.
we blew it off as a stray animal. So we
Criminal.
continued watching TV.
I would immediately think it's a demon or a
About
ghost,
30
to
minutes
be honest,
to
in
an
real
hour
life.
later,
Or a
Bev
Sasquatch.
ran into the living room and locked the front door and shut the blinds.
She's scared,
we were
dude.
curious as to what she was doing. Me and my brother.
She knows
being
something
kids,
y'all don't
got
know.
Scared and started crying.
Oh,
Then
man.
Bev said everything would be okay. It was just a peeping Tom.
Oh.
We went to her parents' room with the
Well, isn't a
Nintendo
peeping-
and some snacks. She said,
Damn,
"Stay
this
put
is a good
and not to
babysitter."
touch anything we didn't bring into the room." Not a minute later,
This
after she
babysitter's
walked in,
fucking clutch.
we heard a loud crash and glass shattering in the room below us. The sicko had thrown a brick from the walk-in to the guest bedroom window and managed to get in.
He went sicko mode, didn't he?
Bev running into the room and pulling us into the closet.
With gray face.
We were going to play a game of
Oh,
hide and seek
God.
and be very
Dude, she
quiet.
is... Just tell the kids
She got
that there's a
out of the
fucking
closet
man in the house.
and locked it from the outside latch and disappeared.
Where'd she pull that bike lock out of?
Several
I've never even
minutes
seen one of those
passed
in
and
real
we
life.
could hear a grown man screaming, come out wherever you are."
Come out wherever you are. I want to give you a makeover with your own blood. Crypt Keeper laugh. I don't know. It's not a very convincing
only want to play.
murderer voice. I only want to play,
And I heard what
children.
sounded like water running in the bathroom across
Piss.
from the closet.
Most definitely. I like his
Then it
haircut.
shut off.
Pretty fresh do.
And I heard Bev yelling something at the man. It was something like, "The police are on their way. You better get out of my house now."
Damn.
Then we could hear loud, heavy
Then he
footsteps
moonwalked.
sprinting out of the room. And then sirens wailing in the distance.
Okay, first off,
Bev
police aren't gonna
shrieked,
come that fast.
And we heard a loud thud on the ground. Bev had managed to find an old wooden bat. As the man turned a corner to go out the front door, Bev swung the bat as hard as she could, knocking the man to the floor.
Are you kidding me?
He got up and tried chasing her outside, but the cops had already arrived and tackled the man on
Bev?
sight.
Is
My mom
Bev
came
Laura
home
Croft?
immediately and took
Tomb
me,
Raider?
my brother, and Bev back to my house.
She better get a fucking raise.
A few years later, she
And a
explained
medal.
that the man was a known sex offender and had escaped from prison. In the report, he was said to be carrying a rather large knife in his pocket and had a Saturday night special tucked away in the waist of his pants.
It's not a Saturday night special. And then that's over. Then that's it. Well, so what's that mean? What was he planning on doing it with you? Excuse me, sir. Yes, I could tell by your mustache.
Wow.
How about a creepy guy hiding in the old closet? How about, look, it's the same house. He uses the same house in all his videos. It's like some sort of mongrel version of The Simpsons house.
Time this happened.
Same
I loved
voice
my
actor,
bedroom,
too.
Since it had a TV, a bed, and a closet with my computer on my desk. One night when I was sleeping,
lotion in paper towels
I
as
heard a
well.
noise coming from my closet.
More scraping.
Which kind of woke me up. I didn't mind
Someone
it
was
at all
already in your
because
closet.
I was still trying to fall back asleep to go to school tomorrow.
You didn't mind the
3
sounds
hours
coming from
later,
inside
after
your
I woke
closet.
up and ate breakfast. I was getting ready to pack my bag, which was in my bedroom.
Look at his little thin legs. Fucking skipped leg day,
When
I
I
guess.
got in my room and packed my bag, I looked at
Back
the
in my
window
baggie.
and saw some tall black figure with a hoodie outside of my bedroom window.
That's racist. Racist.
My
Just gonna
heart
say it.
dropped. And when I said, "Who in the world is that?" the figure ran away. I didn't see the figure's face.
Who in
as
the
he was
world
wearing
is
a
that?
black hoodie.
The ultimate
And
deterrent.
it was a little dark outside since it was
The ultimate
5 a.m.
deterrent.
in the morning. After I came back from school, I was on my phone researching for my school project. Suddenly,
Was he in
I
your
heard
closet?
a loud tap on the window. It was that figure again, and this time I saw his face. He was
Oh,
a
man.
man in
A
his
white
late
guy.
40s. He had wrinkly
Asian guy
skin
looks like.
and had black hair.
Whoa.
He smiled at
Frankie
me
just jumped out of nowhere.
and said, "Hey, want some candy? Come outside of your house and I'll give you some." He
Wow.
laughed and waited for me to come outside. He
Great
ran
forehead.
to the front door and
Whoa.
made a mistake
Hello.
by standing
That doesn't look
there
anything like him.
because my dad was going to go to work. And he
He's a
opened the front door and
badass.
yelled at him to get the hell off his property or he'll call the police.
Get off my
I
lawn,
rushed to my dad
boy!
and told him he'd been outside of my bedroom window stalking me.
Daddy. He offered me candy.
When he realized he didn't want me to get scared that I was going to get kidnapped or something. So he said he would install
Call the-
security cameras.
Call the police
The
and
only
do that.
reason why I didn't
Call the police
scream when he
and
was
do that.
outside of my bedroom window is because that I thought it was one of my friends trying to study with me. But I thought to myself, why the hell would any of my
What?
friends want to study at 5 a.m. in the morning?
You're stupid if you think that. And also, your dad is stupid for not calling the police. Daddy, I saw Willy Wonka outside the door. He said, I wanted candies. And I wanted candies. And then I ran up to go get the candies, and then he stole me. Daddy? Okay, well, I'm going to install security cameras and a Ring doorbell. Sponsored. Instead of calling the fucking police and reporting this strange occurrence. Father of the Year award, am I right?
And none of my friends were really that tall. That night, I heard someone laughing in my closet. I didn't open my
He
eyes,
got in the closet.
but I was scared to death.
Boogie
Since I
woogie.
heard that he was scratching the bedroom closet with something that sounded kind of like a knife.
What?
I waited a minute or two until I built up my courage to make a run for it and screamed for my life while I ran to my parents' bedroom and locked the door. I explained to them what happened and there was someone in my closet. My mom called 911 and the
Oh, they
guy
believe
was
you
saying
now.
stuff like, "Come out and I won't make your parents watch as I stab you." And
What?
that was the thing that made me so scared because my brain was alerting me that he did have a knife. Seconds later, we heard sirens, and me and my parents
no.
heard the police
Popo
bust
there.
the door yelling, "Police, drop
Oh,
your
God.
weapon and put your hands up." Me and my parents were relieved that he was
Egad.
gone. I was very lucky that my closet was far away from my bed. It turned out that the guy was a crazy mental guy who escaped
What?
from his mental hospital by stabbing the security guards and breaking out.
And then ran out with his round body.
From now on, my parents have set up security cameras in each and every room, and also outside.
How did he get in?
Who knows what would have happened to me if I didn't hear him laughing in my closet?
Duh. You need more
been
reverb
stabbed
on that,
to
by the
death.
way. Yes.
Or what if he was hiding under my bed? Since
Duh.
that day, I still don't know
It
how
lasts
we
for like
got
3
in my
seconds.
parents' house. Maybe my mom or dad forgot to lock the front door.
That would be ridiculous.
He got in from my bedroom window.
And you just didn't notice? And it's over. And it's over. That one maybe was like the Swiss cheese of stories. That had so many holes in it. I prefer my cheese to be solid, not full of holes. Like the plot of that story. The criminals always conveniently wait for the police to show up before they try to run away. Like, what? And then the police always show up in like 10 seconds. Nobody ever has a firearm or weapon to protect themselves. If there was a criminal with a knife and that's it in my house and he was stabbing the door, he'd have a few holes in him. Let's just say that, guys. Crypt Keeper. It's my new favorite thing. It's getting old already, I know. True WhatsApp conversation horror story animated. I've used WhatsApp before, mostly with my friends in China, by the way. So, you know, this is really close to home for me. Just kidding. I don't use WhatsApp. Hey guys, I have noticed when we were working at night shift and we put two concierges, we put together on weekend, we had nothing to talk about. What's a concierge? David, well, the night shift is long and to be honest, there isn't much to talk about. Steve, I always feel paranoid that I'm a boring person and I get really tired much quicker if we have nothing to talk about. Robbie, I listen to music and watch films as a distraction to keep my mind occupied throughout the night shift. This is not a human conversation here. I understand, but I am the sort of person who needs a good conversation to keep myself awake. David, well, there isn't much to talk about for the whole night shift when two concierges are working together. During the fun weekends, we won't be in the mood for talking. I have a talent for causing conversations. Yowza! That sounds like a great talent. No, serious, I can cause conversations to happen. All right, Steve. Well, all the night shifts I've worked with you up until now are proof that you are not. This is too fast! No, seriously, guys, I can cause conversations which will last a night shift, not just for me, but for other concierges working together during the night shift as well. Okay, Shelly, where'd she come from? I just watched Netflix, but I heard the managers telling off some of the other concierges for watching something on the computer throughout the whole night shift. Frick that, I cannot manage a whole night shift without entertainment. Yeah, Robbie, we don't need entertainment because I can cause conversations to happen. Okay, Steve, what the fuck is wrong with you? We get it, you have a voice. Okay, Steve, calm down, and to be honest, sometimes I like the silence and I don't feel like talking all the time. Which two concierges are working together this weekend? Me and David. A couple of days later, it was the weekend and David and Robbie are working together in the residential building during the weekends. They were both working in the Friday night shift from 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. Holy crap, guys. A tenant has been murdered. What the frick? Which tenant? Whoa, never expect things like this to happen. Yeah, the tenant's family came to the building completely sick, worried for the male tenant. He lived in apartment 34. Our whole night shift has been dealing with police and the ambulance as well as the grieving family members. Even the managers came down and just now at 4 a.m. we have had a moment to ourselves, but we cannot stop talking about it. I am good at causing conversations. Steve is a dickweed. He's a murderer. What the hell, Steve? That's not funny. See, that is not funny, and joking about someone who's just been murdered is out of order. No, it's definitely not funny, and the male tenant in apartment 34 has been mutilated all over, and then his family members had gotten a strange text from the tenant's mobile. I like the competition. Police will be questioning all of us because the concierges have keys to every apartment, and the deceased male had been murdered for a couple of days. I wasn't supposed to say anything about this, but one of the detectives secretly told me that the dead body had been most probably murdered around Thursday early morning. That's when the forensic first guesses are, and it's Saturday now. Steve, weren't you working the morning shift on Thursday? See how the two concierges on the night shift have something to talk about now? Now their minds are occupied. Told you, Robbie, we don't need it. Steve, this is serious. We're all going to be questioned about this. The CCTV will prove it. David and Robbie are doing the Saturday night shift together from 10 p.m. 9 a.m. Me and David have been talking about the tenant in apartment 34. We both can't believe what has just happened. He was a top guy as well, and always had a smile on his face. He was never grumpy, unlike some of the other tenants who live in the building. It's 5 a.m. now, and that's all me and David have talked about. David's gone for a smoke now. John, who's John? Guys, I haven't been on WhatsApp concierge group in ages, and on my morning shift was questioned by the police, but all my alibis were confirmed. I couldn't believe what has happened to the tenant in apartment 34. He was such a nice man! I couldn't go to sleep all night thinking about it. Imagine doing a night shift alone now on the weekends. It would be a bit more scarier knowing there is a murderer on the loose. It's Steve. Me and David were also questioned by the police as soon as we started our shift. Shelly, I was a question as well. Alibi checks out. I think Steve, Nathan, Floor, and a few others actually have not been questioned. Nathan's gonna be alone on the night shift. Steve said, see, David and Robbie, I told you both I'm good at causing conversations. God, Steve, you're obviously the murderer. What on earth are you on about? Have you been questioned yet? I will just tell them that I'm good at causing conversations. When are you next on shift? Back on the night shift on Sunday, and I'm going to cause more conversation.
That Sunday, Steve was arrested, and when the police checked the CCTV, they clearly saw Steve going into the office and opening the master key cupboard room and taking a spare apartment 34 key and putting it in his cupboard. And then they saw Steve walking on the same floor where apartment 34 is based in. Then they saw
Steve's
Steve come back to the reception with his shirt a little bloody and he wore a waistcoat to cover it up. When they took his fingerprints and DNA, they found that the deceased male was covered with Steve's fingerprints and DNA.
So he didn't even try.
All Steve could say was that he was trying to cause a conversation to happen.
And it's over. And it's over, guys. And did you believe that? It's already over. Steve is obviously a crazy person, and he should be eliminated, I guess, right? Is that just me that thinks that, or, Online game horror. I play online games. Is my forehead gray, and I have sweat coming off my face, guys? I don't play CSGO, but...
When you think of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the last thing you'd think of was
Is this
a horror
an ad?
story. But yet, here I am.
Not really. It's a terrible game.
It was the summer of 2014, and I was bored and home alone, so naturally I hopped on CS.
Playing with a controller on your
I
PC.
went to
Wow.
Dust Online to play some
What
casual.
a smart person.
It wasn't a very busy lobby. There was about 5
Laka,
people
laka.
on each side.
We know the way.
I joined Terrorist,
That's
where
AIDS.
I quickly discovered the only other person
Fucking
with a mic
terrorist.
was a guy whose name was something like Smarties McFlurry.
Wow.
He sounded a lot older than
Dope
me.
name.
I was 14 at the time.
Did he sound like
His
Swagger
name was
Souls?
Dave, and we got along well, and we played good together since we had the same number of skill.
Playing with your
Eventually
tongue
played
out.
more CS:GO together, and then friended each other on
And then he
Steam.
murdered you.
After that, he
Then you got
asked for
murdered.
some of my social media,
Hey,
and I gave him
can
my
you tell me your
Discord and
SNS
Snapchat.
ID?
Then on CS:GO,
Okay.
Dave suddenly said he had to leave, and we could play more tomorrow. So I
Bud
got
moment.
off and watched some TV, and eventually went to sleep on the couch.
What's that, some
I
anime
was
shit?
home alone for the night. At
I
like
was home
1
alone for the
a.m., I
night.
awoke and got a glass of water. Then I heard a
Do you live
Snapchat
alone?
notification from my phone. Curious
What's your
as
thing
to who
opening,
was
though?
sending snaps at this time of night. I picked it up and
Steve.
saw it was from Dave.
Or Dave. Steve's the
I
other
opened
murderer.
it, and
This is
it
the
was
new
a picture
murderer.
of my front lawn and house.
Oh my.
The phone and the glass of water fell from my hands to the floor, and my heart began to
Damn.
race. I was suddenly
Damn.
frozen, as if rooted
Damn.
to the spot. The darkness around me seemed
Get
to
your
become
guns.
thicker, and I swear I was
What?
seeing shadows all around me. Then I heard a knock at the glass.
That's just Dave.
I turned
Oh
to the
my
back
God.
window, and there he was, the Dave guy,
Hello.
who looked a lot older and
Looks like a
creepier than me.
nice guy.
Without thinking, I ran to the back door, locked it. I also
It's not
locked
fair
the
to
front
judge
door.
people.
I could hear him
Alright.
calling to me through the window. Then I proceeded to run to the only windowless room, the bathroom.
Give me the
I
mod
stayed
rank
in
on
there
your
for about an
Discord.
hour, shaking
I'll
and
kill
fearing
you.
the worst. I dreaded hearing
Call the
sound of
fucking
Dave
police.
calling me again, a knock at the door, or even footsteps outside.
What's his,
I
like,
don't know how long it was before I fell asleep. The
Why
next
didn't you call
morning,
the police?
My parents arrived home, and I hesitated to tell them about my experience.
okay, so you're a little
I
boy.
knew they would drop shit on me.
Damn, he's a
It
little
wasn't
boy.
Just that. I was questioning whether or not I was dreaming when the Dave guy appeared at my house.
True.
I
Could
knew
be
I
just
had
some
not
kind of
been
lucid
dreaming
dream.
playing CS:GO with him, though. However, when I checked my phone, it was like he didn't exist. He was not on my
God.
friends list in CS:GO. His Steam account was gone. His
That's actually
Discord
kind of
was
sketchy.
gone,
Look, they spelled the word online wrong.
and even his Snapchat was gone. All deleted.
Was he removed from
To
the
this
mod rank
day,
too?
I still question my sanity about whether or not this Dave guy who I played CS:GO with really existed.
You just
I
played
know
too
for
much
sure
games,
we had
bud.
chatted on the game.
You're on a 30-hour
on
bender,
Discord and
probably.
on Snapchat. But had he really come
No.
to my house? And why were all of his online accounts
Dead
deleted?
meme.
I really don't know.
And it's over. And it's over. So Dave wasn't even real, I guess. That's the moral of that story. Why are you laying on my papers? So here's another page that you guys might like. It's called Stephen D. It's an animation page that was recommended to me by a subscriber. Actually, a lot of you guys have been talking about this guy. Apparently, they're really good, some of the best. And we'll see about this. Creepy coworker has a crush. He's just a fat guy. Doesn't mean he's creepy.
Back when Sarah was 17, she worked at a small local bakery. There were less than 15 employees.
I'll send you a better
spread
mic if you
across
want,
all the
Stephen
night
D.
and day shifts, so they only had a few people working during the day. One of these people
you need
was
someone to
Dave, the delivery
do voices,
driver.
I will.
From the first time they met, Dave
Dave.
immediately gave Sarah an off vibe.
Dave
He
is
was in his
handsome.
mid-50s and way too
Damn.
friendly to a teenage girl. But the
And
boss
he has a
told
small
her that
mustache.
yes, she could be annoying, but no one worked harder than he did, so just
I like this
ignore
animation
his
style.
antics. Sarah then recalled that when
He's
she
just
signed
a
the
bit old
paperwork,
and
they
creepy.
never asked her to submit a background check. And in hindsight, that should have been red flag number 2. Over the course of the year or so that she worked with Dave, Sarah tried very hard to ignore him. He was rarely
He's over
outright
there in the
creepy,
corner.
but he was always just a bit too friendly. He would stick
Just
around
standing
long
in the half
after his
darkness.
shift was over to talk to
Drooling
her
as
and
well.
another pastry chef. He always wanted to lick
Bizarre.
the bowl after she
Whoa.
finished making Rice Krispie treats. He would always
fucked
stand in
up.
front of the racks or equipments or ingredients just enough that sometimes her hand would brush him while reaching for something.
Oh
Dave
my
always
God, and he goes,
stood just a little too close. Dave was
All right,
constantly
bud.
asking Sarah
Also
about her
named Dave,
life,
by the way.
what she liked, what she did for fun, if she had a boyfriend.
How old is she?
Almost daily, he would tell her how a nice girl like her should have a boyfriend, how maybe a boyfriend would be good for her. Sarah let this slide because sometimes other people can say things that were meant differently in their time. But then it was the concert invites. Every other week he had tickets to one concert or another. Once he figured out Sarah's favorite genre of music, it was almost exclusively tickets to bands she desperately wanted to see. But she also knew that she should not go anywhere with him.
It's like Harvey Weinstein, but pastry
He bought her a
chef.
t-shirt and it was 2 sizes too small. He told her to try it on after work and text him a photo, and proceeded to give Sarah his phone number. He didn't ask for her number. She said no.
This is a good story
He
here.
asked the other pastry chef for her number, but she had her back and refused as well. He also brought 2 tickets from another band that Sarah had been wanting to see.
Dude's just desperate.
VIP section, 21 plus only. He said he could get her in. She just had to go with him and him alone. This continued for a while. Sarah brought it up to one of her bosses, but they laughed it off as, oh, classic Dave. When he wanted a hug on his birthday and hugged her without consent, there's Dave for you. Offering to get her booze or
Don't
pot.
mind my
Oh,
doinky.
Dave, you scamp. When
What?
he pulled up his shirt and showed his abdominal scar from a snowboarding accident, well, that's just Dave.
That's just Dave. When are you? That's just Dave. Don't worry about it. Or maybe.
No respect for boundaries, but he was a good worker. Sarah even
Dave, I
considered
don't like
having one
Dave.
of her big, strong male friends come in under the guise of being her boyfriend
Danny.
just to placate Dave.
Hey,
She was
fuck
repulsed
off,
by him,
Dave.
but he hadn't really done
I'm
anything
Danny.
to classify himself as a
Her
predator.
boyfriend.
Besides asking for her number, he
That's
had never
pretty
tried
creepy.
to straight up harass her, and besides the odd hug or two that she was too shy and afraid to refuse, he hadn't gotten super physical. Then one day, Dave was gone.
This is nuance.
His name disappeared from the employee roster. Sarah's boss asked to see her in the office. She informed her that Dave was no longer employed at their business.
Dave got
had
bad.
been fired. He was fired because Dave was a convicted sex offender. There is one count kidnapping a minor from the mid-90s and another count that she doesn't want to think about. They had never background
Oh my
checked,
God.
and when they contacted a friend in the police department, they found out that Dave had been lying on
You
lots
can
of
look it up on the
paperwork,
internet.
hiding the fact that he was a convicted felon and not
You can literally
notifying
look up
anyone
someone's
he
name.
moved. Once they brought this information to the police department's attention, they had a few more charges to add. They found out because apparently
Poor
he had been
Dave.
stalking
Not
and
really.
harassing
Fuck
one
Dave.
of the clients he delivered to. After his termination,
Damn, he's
Dave
creepy.
showed up to work one day. He had a weapon with
Dave.
him, but Sarah never
God.
found out what he had.
What is that?
They told him to leave
Poop?
or the police would be called, and he ended up leaving in handcuffs. Sarah was
Poor
extremely
Dave.
relieved that
Just
she
kidding,
wasn't there
once
that
again.
day. It's been a
Poor
while
Dave
since she
Weinstein.
worked at the bakery, but sometimes she still thinks about how badly things could have gotten had she gone to even one of those concerts with him. Now that we know the truth behind Sarah's ex-coworker,
So Dave was a sex offender. You can just search his name. Just look up Dave the sex offender and it'll pop up. And it'll also show you everywhere he's ever lived, all of his convictions, unless this isn't in America, because you can do that in America. I check the maps all the time. There's a convicted sex offender right behind me. Ah, it's PewDiePie. He's not. I don't think. Let's watch one more Stephen D. That was really good though. That was the best story, I think, out of any of the horror videos I've seen in terms of like pure storytelling, no plot holes, pretty good, not a lot of plot armor, things like that. A lot of other buzzwords that I don't actually know what they mean, but I like to say to seem cooler. Not a lot of those, bud. Yowza! That was a good one. Everyone go subscribe to Stephen D. My crazy stalker became my roommate's boyfriend. What?
it was the summer after graduation. And
The summer of
Jennifer was up
69.
late packing for a
My hair
camping
was
trip
long
with
and my
her
wits
friends.
were short.
She had the window open as she sat
This
there
is such good
folding
animation.
clothes when she suddenly saw a hand
Oh,
coming
no.
through the gap in the screen
Jesus.
of her window. Jennifer screamed and the hand flew back. She was stunned. It could have
I'll
just
make
been
sounds
her younger brother
for you guys.
pranking her.
No,
Got
not
up
with a
and
hand
looked
like
out
that.
the window and
That was
saw
a
the
fucking
figure
mitt.
of a man staring back at her.
See, that's so scary to me. Gives me the tinglies.
But saw him there playing video games.
Bud
They called the
moment.
police, who came and searched the area.
911!
They found nothing. Officers warned her and her parents to lock the windows and doors, but the mother had a feeling that
there's a bad man with white eyes.
Out, mother's intuition was right. She went outside and waited in the back porch, and after 20 minutes, she saw a man dressed in black in their backyard. He hid behind a tree and slowly worked his way towards Jennifer's window. The mother yelled something to the stranger, and he took off running. Police came back out, and again...
Oh my god, police are useless in these stories.
Jennifer never opened that window again, not even the curtains. Her parents installed some motion detecting lights, and that seemed to be the end of that.
That's smart. That's actually really intelligent.
Later, Jennifer and her friend got an apartment downtown together, excited as this was their first place outside of home and they are finally living in the city. The downside was that it was street parking only, and after a few weeks, Jennifer's car was broken into. Oddly enough,
another guy with white eyes.
Taken, but a single
Maybe the
rose
Mothman
was sat on the passenger seat. This creeped her out for sure, but she vowed to be vigilant and safe. She always tried to park close to the entrance near the light, but it was often difficult to get those spots, and she would have to park farther away.
Those are them good spots.
Things quickly began escalating at this point. Jennifer's car was broken into at least once a week. Most of the time, a flower was left.
How was it broken into?
A pair of men's underwear was there instead.
Jimmy?
And even more strangely, a bag of Tootsie Rolls.
Okay, wait. Did he leave some of his underwear? Were they soiled? Did they have a little bit of a bacon strip? Maybe some breakfast food left inside? Maybe a sausage roll? I think the Tootsie Rolls are a symbol. It wasn't just a Tootsie Roll. It was a little toy. Left a toy in there.
Weird, because it was
a little Tootsie Roll in the underwear?
Candy. This made Jennifer wonder if the person knew her personally. And she started to become suspicious of everyone. There was a laundry machine in the basement of the apartment, and one day Jennifer went down to get a load that finished drying. As she started to fold, she realized that all her bras and panties were gone. By the time the first letter arrived, she had already started making plans to move elsewhere. The letter described a love for her that had been going on for years. He noted things that proved he had been watching Jennifer closely.
You wrote the distance.
Not long after, Jennifer was able to arrange for another friend to take over her lease, and she moved in with a new friend on the other side of the city. It was a secured building and had an underground parking garage that was only accessible to tenants. She felt more secure, and the extra money spent was well worth the
That's really scary, though.
Things were quiet for
parking garages?
And then her roommate got a boyfriend. There was something odd about Ashley's new boyfriend.
Look at him.
And her friends
little
were
anime
wary of
guy
him from the very beginning. For one, he reached out to her. Another reason was that Matt was very good looking, and while Ashley was a wonderful person,
she looks like John Lennon.
She wasn't the type you would typically expect someone like him.
Poor John Lennon,
Ashley
little girl.
Was thrilled. She never had a boyfriend and really felt like he was her Prince Charming. Jennifer, however, thought it was weird and creepy the moment they met. She had deleted her Facebook account when the initial stalking began, but created a dummy account to learn more about Matt. It didn't look like
this animation.
Really
this is a good story.
Friends in real life. There were only pictures of himself, and the rest of the information was vague. Jennifer and her friends gently tried to discourage Ashley from seeing Matt. He technically hadn't done anything wrong, but he was just so
weird.
Strange. She would immediately get defensive and would shut the conversation down.
Just like John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Is this the Beatles 2.0? What is happening here?
She would immediately get defensive and would shut the conversation down.
This is literally the Beatles.
To spend more time at the apartment, and Jennifer found herself finding any excuse
Pretend Matt is Yoko Ono.
Home. One day she came back home from work and found Matt on the couch, alone, drinking a beer. Ashley had been calling him to work, and she told her that he could just hang out. Jennifer
got small hands, don't worry.
Spend any time with him, so she grabbed the beer and a snack and headed off to her room and shut the door. About 30 minutes or so, he knocked on Jennifer's door and suggested they watch some TV and get to know each other better because they both loved Ashley. Not wanting to engage in conversation, Jennifer focused on the movie. But at one point,
this is so weird.
She glanced over to Matt, and he was staring at her with a smile. Jennifer snapped at him and said, "What?" As he just continued to smile and said, "I just can't believe it." Believed what?
Dude.
He said nothing and went back to watching the movie. She had no idea what he was talking about.
That's
weird. The
weird.
interaction had every hair standing up on her body. She excused herself and locked the door to her room. Another month or so went on, and Jennifer had managed to avoid being home for much beyond sleeping and showering. Matt practically lived there and had brought a bunch of his things.
Always drinking that beer like
Jennifer
that.
didn't want to move again, but was beginning to look for other options. On Ashley and Matt's 6-month anniversary, there was a huge bouquet of flowers on the table and an already opened card propped up next to it. Jennifer was curious, so she opened the card and her heart started beating through her chest. Without even reading the words Matt wrote, the handwriting was exactly the same as the one her stalker had sent. Jennifer had kept them as evidence and dug them out of her desk for comparison. The handwriting was unique and identical. Matt was the stalker. Jennifer called the police, and as they were on their way, she called Ashley and asked her to come over, terrified to tell her the truth because she knew that her heart would
Matt's going to be with her.
The police
Matt's going to be with her.
Jennifer and went to Ashley's work to get more information from her.
He literally looks like an anime character.
Apparently, Ashley called Matt after and left a furious message, even though the cops told her not to say anything, and he completely disappeared after that.
Oh,
there was no
wow, you
Matt
blew
or
it,
anyone matching
John
his
Lennon.
resemblance at the place he said he worked. Ashley had never been to his apartment because he said he would be staying with his friends while trying to save money for a trip to Europe.
He's just an
His family
insane
lived
person.
Out of state, and she said that she had never met a friend of his because he said they had a falling out because he was choosing to spend so much time with her. It was all
He's just a
lies,
crazy
and
guy.
In the end, she was dating a stranger. For all they knew,
It's just some fucking guy.
May not have even been his real name. He had left the duffel bag in the apartment that was
I wonder
full
how
of Jim's
often that
clothes,
happens.
But in one compartment, there were about
This is a good
10
story, by the way.
pictures of Jennifer. All were taken from far away with the exception of one of her sleeping. The sheets were current, so it had to have been in her current apartment before she started locking her bedroom door. A few pictures dated back to before the incident at her parents' house, which was further evidence that it was him as well.
Wow.
2 pairs of missing underwear were there, and Jennifer shudders to think of what he did with the rest. There was also a
Probably
Starbucks
wore
lid
them
with
on
her
his
red
head.
lipstick marks, and a necklace she hadn't even noticed she was missing. The police
He honestly
never
has
tracked
pretty
him
good
down.
restraint.
Jennifer accepted an opportunity overseas and got
For
out
being
of
a
it.
crazy-
But ever since then, Jennifer deleted
Well, that's
all her
convenient.
social media accounts. She became very low profile, looks over her shoulder wherever she goes, as part of her continues to worry if Matt will ever.
That's just like a life-ruining experience. Damn. My sister had a stalker once, but some guy we know beat the shit out of him, and he went to Mexico. He literally went to Mexico. Anyways, that's my story. Subscribe to all these guys, and thanks for watching. Once again, thanks for watching, guys. Drop a like if you'd like to see more. If you're new to the channel, consider pressing the sub button. Follow me on all the stuff on the screen here. And here are the best comments from the previous episode. I couldn't read the comments from the last video because I got a copyright strike, so I'm sorry. Leave more for this one, and I'll read a few more next time, guys. Special thanks to my producers, Alexis Lovell, Bobbert Lofton, Broadway Pixels, Dadgum, Morgan Freeman, Matthew, Nicolian Dynamite, Ryan Forbes, and Zedskay. Them dogs hit the spot, them dogs hit the Stop putting your butthole in my nose. I'm a sex offender. What?